All right, Reddit, this is a wild one. I never thought I'd be sharing something like this, but here we are. Buckle up, because this story involves betrayal, prison pen pals, and a revenge plot so satisfying it still makes me smile. This setup. My wife, let's call her Lisa, and I had been married for 10 years. We had a decent life, 2 kids, a nice house, and what I thought was a strong relationship. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but nothing that made me think she'd ever betray me. Lisa had always been a kind-hearted person. She volunteered at shelters, donated to charities, and even wrote letters to soldiers overseas. So when she told me she was participating in a prison pen pal program, I didn't think much of it. It's about giving these people hope, she said. They're human too, you know. I admired her for it. Little did I know, her kindness would turn into something much darker. The discovery. It started with small changes. Lisa became more secretive with her phone. She'd stay up late, typing away on her laptop, and whenever I walked into the room, she'd quickly close her tabs. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she was planning a surprise for me or working on a personal project. But then, one night, I woke up to find her crying in the living room. "What's wrong?" I asked. She shook her head. "It's nothing. Just something one of the inmates wrote to me. It's heartbreaking." I believed her. But a few weeks later, I found a letter in her drawer. It wasn't heartbreaking, it was romantic. And the letter was from a guy named Marcus, an inmate serving time for armed robbery. He wrote about how Lisa's letters were the only thing keeping him going, how he dreamed of holding her in his arms, and how he couldn't wait to meet her in person. My stomach dropped. The investigation. I didn't confront Lisa right away. I needed to know the full story. I started digging. First, I checked her email. She had been using a separate account to communicate with Marcus. Their messages were explicit. They talked about their future together and how they couldn't wait to be free. Then, I looked at her phone records. She had been calling the prison regularly, spending hours on the phone with him. Finally, I found out she had been visiting him. She told me she was going to volunteer meetings, but in reality, she was driving to the prison to see him. I was devastated, but I wasn't going to let this slide. The plan. I decided to play the long game. I needed to gather as much evidence as possible before making my move. First, I hired a private investigator to track Lisa's movements. He confirmed she was visiting Marcus at the prison and even managed to get photos of them together during visitation hours. Next, I reached out to Marcus's parole officer. I pretended to be a concerned citizen asking about Marcus's behavior and whether he was a threat to society. "He's been a model inmate," the parole officer said. "No issues so far." That gave me an idea. The revenge. I started researching prison transfer protocols. I learned that inmates could be transferred to other states for various reasons, including security concerns or overcrowding. And then there's a lot of prison jail stuff here, which is, I decided to create a reason. Using a fake email account, I sent an anonymous tip to the prison administration, claiming that Marcus was involved in a drug smuggling operation. I provided evidence, fake documents and photos that made it look like he was a threat to the prison's security. A few weeks later, I got the news. Marcus was being transferred to a prison in another state. But I wasn't done yet. The confrontation. I waited until Lisa came home from one of her volunteer meetings. She looked upset. "What's wrong?" I asked, pretending to be concerned. "Marcus got transferred," she said, tears in her eyes. "I don't know what I'm going to do." That's when I dropped the bomb. "I know about you and Marcus," I said, handing her a folder with all the evidence I'd gathered. Her face went pale. "You thought you could hide this from me?" I said. "You thought I wouldn't find out?" Ha! She tried to deny it, but the evidence was overwhelming. The aftermath. Lisa begged me to forgive her, but I was done. I filed for divorce and got full custody of our kids. So how can I get back and right the wrongs I contacted you? As for Marcus, he's still serving his sentence in another state, far away from Lisa. Last I heard, he tried to reach out to her, but she never responded. So, that's it for this wild story. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more jaw-dropping stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.